You don't need inspiration. You need tolerance. Okay? You don't need to see more or know more or be exposed to more. I feel like deep down you understand that there are things that get you excited. There are people out there that you've seen living a life that you respect or admire or would love to experience for yourself, whether it's for the better, like for the best or for the worst, like whatever you want to see for yourself, right? And then make that decision on your own. So you don't need more inspiration in a world where we are constantly consuming and over consuming, and like our hobby is consuming. Like, as someone who doesn't feel like she really necessarily has hobbies, what makes it really easy for me not to have hobbies is the fact that a primary thing I enjoy doing is like over consuming online, right? So like there's constantly data coming in, but what is actually coming out? What are you actually creating? So you likely don't need more inspiration to get to the life you want. And so you don't need more motivation either, right? Because that kind of goes a bit hand in hand, right? When you get inspired, when you see something exciting, when you're like, oh, I want that, you're kind of motivated, right? In the middle of the night when you're consuming that content, consuming another person's life and experience and highlight reel, that's when you're like, oh my gosh, let me go to my Pinterest board and scratch, like do everything and plan everything, right? And ideate and get excited. You're motivated, you're inspired. But when you wake up, what happens? You can't tolerate the activities, the behaviors, the consistency needed to get the thing that you are inspired by, to get the thing that you're motivated about, that you're excited about. You don't have the tolerance for the fact that getting there is not as fun as thinking about it. Getting there is not as fun as dreaming it. Getting there requires some changed behavior, right? So when you go online and you watch videos of, someone's transformation, what do you type in, right? You see online somebody lost a bunch of weight, or somebody, their body got to, or gained weight or gained muscle or whatever they got, right? Somebody had some kind of visual, physical transformation that you like from doing something. But what you're consuming is the end result, which is very exciting, very fun, very tea, very slay, very exciting, right? So then you get inspired and you're like, well, they started off looking, like me, and they ended up looking like what I'd like to look like, bigger or smaller or stronger or whatever it is. And so what do? You go and look for even more inspiration. And that is not someone, because no one can post a video online that is 30 days worth of watching, right? Nobody can show us what they did every second of the day for 30 days. We're not going to sit down and watch that, right? So what you're going to go look for online is going to be, okay, Pilates by Izzy. I'm really calling people out. I know I am, because I'm calling myself out. I love doing this. Pilates by Izzy 30-day transformation, or, other popular ones back in the day to trigger some people. Chloe Ting 2-week shred challenge, before and after. Like, we love a little before and after. We love a little, 10-minute video of them showing us a time lapse of their workouts, and then showing us, the end result, right? Because I can consume that quickly and I can get excited about that quickly. But what I struggle to tolerate is when I'm done getting excited about the vision, when I'm done writing out, okay, this is going to be how I'm going to do it. This is going to be my meal plan. This is when I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. The next day, do I have the tolerance to actually live it? Okay, because again, I can't go online and watch somebody's 30-day experience. I have to live it. I have to live every second. I have to live with that goal in mind. Okay, if I know I want to be stronger, I have to eat more. I have to eat more protein. I have to, consume carefully and mindfully. I have to consume more fiber. I have to do this. I need more veggies in my diet. I need to drink way more water than I usually do. I need to prioritize movement. Maybe it's zone 2 movement. Maybe it's some kind of recurring movement I can keep up with. I need to do strength training, whether that's at the gym or calisthenics or body weight exercises or tension under time, or Pilates or ankle weights, whatever it is, right? I have certain goals. So I need to tolerate the fact that to get there, each contributing second requires me tolerating the actual choice, the actual action that contributes to the thing that I want. That has nothing to do with the consumption that I engaged in the middle of the night before. That has nothing to do with my Pinterest board filled with inspiration. I'm speaking out loud now. I'm not even advanced enough to know how Pinterest works. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that no longer has anything to do with all the things that got me all riled up and motivated and excited anymore, because now I have to live it. And living it requires me tolerating, the boring parts, the uncomfortable parts, the things I just genuinely do not want to fucking do. And so you don't need more inspiration. And honestly, something I've, started doing and I'm really trying to take seriously in this phase of my life, because I'm doing this all the time. I love me a little boot camp. I love me a little reset. And I'm lucky enough to be able to really genuinely stay the course when I design these things. But I think what helps is too that I have that script in my head that I can stay the course on these things because I've been doing them my whole life. And again, narrative is so important. And something I'm working on now is removing that overconsumption from my life, because I don't need more ideas. And as someone that has so many different interests, like sometimes there is such a thing as being too exposed, I fear. Like, as someone that has so many different interests, and even if you don't have that many interests, there's still 1,000,001 ways to get something done. Like, okay, I can take a broad example or a super niche example, but if your goal is to make a bunch of money, there are 1,000,001 ways to make a bunch of money. And honestly, I have no doubt that I feel like the kind of person listening to what I'm saying and listening to this kind of podcast, I have no doubt that you already have more than one, probably more than 10 ideas saved somewhere on your notes app, on your, in your Spotify, like in your podcast, in your YouTube, like watch later, do this, in categories. I have folders. I could count the number of collections on TikTok that I have. I bet you have 1,000,001 ways right now that you could sit down and get to that money girl, if that was the goal, or get to that body tea, if that was the goal, or get to whatever it is that you want. I bet you already have the plan. So you don't need to consume more ideas. There's 1,000,000 ideas, but you know what? I bet I can say that if you still don't have that thing you want, I bet I can say with confidence that you've not tried more than 3 of those ideas for some level of time, like recurringly. Okay, so if for example, you really, really want to, and maybe 3 is too small a number, because I really do think you should just keep going and never give up. It's not like you get to 3 and you're like, okay, that's what Obie said I should do. So because I did 3 times and it didn't work out for me, fine. No, but I can probably say with confidence that you have 1,000,001 plans, but I don't think I can say with confidence that of those plans, you've picked 1 of them, 2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them. And beyond picking out the plan, stuck to the plan. And not just for a week or a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year. Have you picked a plan and stuck to the fucking plan and saw it out to its conclusion? Because if I make that claim and you can say with full confidence, no, I had this dream to do this on social media and I posted every single day for a year and it still didn't work out for me, fine. If you can answer me honestly and say that you did that, fine. Who am I to judge you? Okay, because you tried, but at the same time, I could still give you, look, this is a Thinking Out Loud podcast. You don't even know what it's like to be inside my brain. What is this, episode 39, 38? I don't know. We're approaching episode 40. We're just getting started. I've lived a lifetime of being with myself and thinking. So if you can answer with full honesty, yes, I did every single day for a year show up and try to get to XYZ goal. And I had a plan and I stuck to the plan for a year and I'm still not there. Fine. Okay. Then we get to step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1 million, because the advice is literally never ending. Reach out to me, find me on a platform. Let's chat. But if your answer is no, I've not done that. Okay. Do you see what I mean? Okay, how can you then be upset that you haven't seen what you wanted, that you haven't gotten the result that you wanted? You haven't even stuck to the plan. You literally haven't stuck to the plan. It's like trying to get a high school diploma without showing up to class for a year straight. It doesn't happen. They'll make you repeat the grade. You can't skip shit. Of course, if you were qualified to skip shit, sure, that sometimes happens. You're sticking to the plan, something, bolts you forward, whatever. You get to skip a few steps, but you keep going and keep going and keep going until you get the thing you want. You get the thing you want, you pivot, you go to the next thing that you want, whatever. That's how our minds work. We're always finding a goal. We like to optimize and better ourselves as human beings. There's always going to be something, I fear, right? You want to make it fun. You want to gamify your life and not view it as a burden and not view it as I never can be satisfied. Absolutely be satisfied and celebrate your every moment, but also understand that the pivot, like the goalpost will move naturally, because you don't, drop dead because you got something you wanted. You currently, I'm sure, have something that you wanted so badly 10 years ago or 5 years ago or a month ago or something. I'm sure you have it now. You didn't drop dead when you got it, right? If you're excited about your food delivery order, you don't drop dead when the food arrives. No, because there's something else for you to want in that next moment. So that's on a much smaller scale and less deep. But you know what I'm saying? Life goes on, so there will be new things. But what I'm saying is, if you can't say that you stuck to a plan and kept at it for a year plus, and then, right, if that didn't work, you have to also adjust as you go, right? Because you'll be learning, you'll be getting data, you'll want to pivot, whatever it is. And then if that plan genuinely fails because it fails, because, sometimes you have to know when to let something go as well. You pivot the plan, you make a new plan, whatever it is, but you pick something else and you stick to it, and you pick something else and you stick to it, but you stick to it for long enough to see the results. And if you're not doing that, then you don't need more inspiration, motivation, ideas, because you have millions of ideas that you've not tried. You don't need another self-help book. You don't need more ideas. You need a system. You need a plan. You need a script. Like, hey, these are my limitations. These are my limiting beliefs. These are the things that I have strong internal resistance to that I know are blocking success in my life. Like I've, worked on mine, right? I think for me, if to say something out loud so we can talk out loud, I feel like I'm someone that has a lot of internal resistances to the idea of like networking, for example, because I've seen it in environments where people treat it as like a super transactional, like mandatory requirement. So it's almost like these kids want jobs in the finance industry, so they network with the goal of getting a job. There's genuinely nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, everything I had, witnessed around that kind of behavior was super transactional, where I'm hearing people say things like, oh, well, you don't message them and lead with the thing that you want, because if you lead with the thing that you want, they'll ignore you. So you have to act like you care about them and learn about them and then get to the thing that you want. And I always found those kinds of behaviors like deeply odd and manipulative, because it's like, what do you mean you can't be upfront and honest as to why you're speaking to someone? Because you want them to give you what you want without knowing that they're giving you what you want, or you want them to be ingratiated to you or some other thing. Like these are the things I saw, adjacent to me, probably not even directly in my own friendship circles, because I try to avoid people that think this way. And so because of that, the word networking has like this super bad taste in my mouth. But it's a shame, because as a person in real life, the actual function of what networking means, which I think by definition is more related to just like connection, right? You want to connect to people, get to know people, expand the circles of people that you know, the network of people that you know, the web of I know this person, they know that person, whatever, getting to know people. I actually fundamentally as a human being love that, right? So it's sad to think then, because I have had, right, I'm getting over it, this strong internal resistance to that word and how other people use that behavior of reaching out to people on LinkedIn or emailing people or talking to people. I made that a dirty word in my head. And then because it didn't align with who I think of myself as, because again, how you feel, your identity contributes so much to your own behaviors. Because my identity didn't align with, the identity I associated with that behavior based off of those behaviors and those kinds of people and how they treated that word, I don't want to do it. So if you put me in a room filled with people, I love talking to people. And that can be on a career level, a human level, a social level, any context. I love a stranger. I literally love a stranger on the road. I want to chat. Actually, tell me your entire life story. Like, I actually don't care about the small talk or the weather. Where were you born? Why were you born there? What are your parents like? What was your childhood like? Everything. I want to know everything about everyone that I meet. Okay, that's just me. Okay, so I then have to rewire that internal resistance to realize like, no, networking doesn't have to be transactional. Networking can come from a genuine place of curiosity, interest in another human being, and it doesn't have to have an ulterior motive. Networking can be transparent and honest. If you do want advice for someone about a particular thing, you shouldn't feel weird saying that. And yeah, if they say they don't want to answer because you said that and whatever, I'll never know. And that's fine, because then maybe that's not the person you should be talking to. And that I can, including some of these steps and among others, approach networking in a way that is honest and genuine and comfortable for me and aligned with who I am, and remove that internal resistance, right? So then now, as I say all of this, and hopefully that was another chunk of advice for you to do in your own way for your own life, I'm doing that work. I'm not getting more inspiration and ideas. I'm saying, what is stopping me right now? What is my internal narrative, my script that stops me from doing the right behaviors? Okay, I found it. I see networking as a dirty word. Now I no longer feel that way. I realize that I can talk and meet and chat with people and really connect with them because that's how I feel. And I just struggle to put it into words over an email because I have that icky resistance to that portion of it. But I've removed that, and that makes it easier to then carry out the behavior of getting to know people. And then that's useful for me because I also find that, separate from networking, when it comes to throwing my name in the ring for like anything, if you come to me and you're like, do this thing, I'm like, okay, cool. It's right in front of me. It's mandatory to the curriculum. Sure, let's do it. But if you say, go out there and apply for this, like, no, thank you. No, thank you. If God wanted me to do it, he would put it right in front of my face. That's ridiculous. That's like a ridiculous way to think. If you're someone that wants to try a lot of things in this life, not everything is going to come to your feet. You're going to have to seek things out. And so getting rid of internal resistances makes it easier for me to adjust certain behaviors. It makes it more comfortable for me to then put my hat into the ring and put myself out there for opportunities or ask people questions to learn more about what's out there. And then it's like, okay, I'm not exposing myself to the overconsumption of somebody else already having, a dream life online and making it look like, in a 30-second video, I can have the same thing. No, now I'm saying I am showing up repeatedly to learn more about what I can do in real life to get the things that I want, right? So this is me now, being more specific to myself. But what I'm saying is, you don't need more ideas. You don't need more inspiration. You don't need more motivation. Pick something. I know you're so smart. And I know you've already thought about this. And even if you've not written it down or saved it in the specific ways that I've said, I know that you've thought about this. So there's something that you could be doing every day that would make your life better or make your life closer to that dream you that pushes you, that inspires you to take each next step, right? I know you have that thought in your head, so stop thinking it. Bring it into your real life and do it every single day for a year. Mark this date in your calendar, set a reminder, and come back a year from now and leave me a comment in the comment box. What am I going to do for a year straight? And when that day comes, come back and let me know how it went. And if it genuinely did nothing for you, it didn't teach you a thing. It didn't teach you what to do next. It didn't teach you what you do or don't like. It didn't teach you anything. Fine, I'm wrong. But I'm rarely wrong. So I'm rarely wrong. So I look forward to that not happening. But anyways, that's my thoughts for today or this moment whenever you're watching this. And thank you so much for being here. Welcome to Thinking Out Loud with Liv Lumani. My name is Obie, and I will see you next time. Mwah.